Hello and welcome to the Dog Savant Podcast. My name is Brett Endies. I am a professional dog trainer. The purpose of this podcast is to share my dog training experience with you if you are a dog or puppy owner seeking training and behavior advice, if you are a client in the real world looking to supplement the work we are doing together, and if you're just anyone interested in dog training, dog behavior, the life and rants of a professional dog trainer, this podcast is for you. Today is episode 100. Not anything special, just going to be another episode. I had considered it, but who am I to, I'm just here to share the information. We don't have to have a whole celebration for any achievement. There's people with thousands of episodes of their podcast, so I'm just going to keep on plugging away here. But nonetheless, I always ask, please don't forget to rate, review, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Reach out to me. My email is dogtrainingla@gmail.com or my website, dogtrainingla.com. If you have questions, if you just want to share with me how the podcast has helped you, I really like getting the feedback, but definitely the more people who share, subscribe, review, all that, more people can find this and I can help more dogs and puppy owners with the information that has helped many people in the real world over the years. So with that said, let's see what we're going to talk about today. Sometimes I have a plan, sometimes they're on the fly. I talk a lot about, and a lot of trainers and a lot of the older trainers, I think, went overboard with this, but how do you get your dog to respect you, right? For many reasons. So your dog doesn't become anxious and frustrated with feeling too responsible for a relationship or shared situations, environments that they just as a dog can't handle because their minds are more basic and they're meant to work for us and take direction and kind of be calm in our presence until otherwise directed. What makes a dog respect us? Also, we can get, just dogs won't listen. They feel like, well, I'd like to do that come command, but I got bigger fish to fry when I'm running towards that dog because you've never taught me to check in, to listen, to curb my impulses when I see these kind of distractions, or I'm at a certain distance or at a certain level of becoming stimulated. And now just listening and consciousness is secondary to what's driving me, right? And again, what I'm pointing out are things that are just a dog respecting you. It's not about you better listen or else, or I'm going to pin you on your back and make you, learn who's the boss. There are certain things like you do things first, go through a door first, have a dog take commands for things like attention and their needs like food, and even just for some dogs who have a lot of hypervigilance, or for new puppies, it's very helpful to just even walk them on the leash or have them stay put in their place training, as you've heard me talk about many, many times over in both the podcast and any clients of mine in our real world, training sessions. Again, the respect, being a pack leader, being the boss, letting your dog know who's in charge, all that. Yes, you do need to have your dog see it in a way, but in a way that is skillful, humane, only connecting your dog deeper with you, not making them, in fear or listen out of some kind of perceived threat. But then in the same token, there does have to be, this one-way street, my way or the highway, when we do communicate with dogs. Even if it's just the simple logistics of, getting back to the come command, when we're practicing it, always using a leash, always saying it once and creating an action. So that's how the pathway in their brain associates that when they hear these things. And that, again, if they respect what we do just by consistency, by using a leash, by taking the time to practice every day and improving on these skills, implementing training and obedience in the everyday routine so the dogs don't think that we're too distracted when we're living our lives alongside them. And for some dogs that are watching us more than we watch them, it gives them anxieties. And again, this not understanding that if I'm keeping more track of what humans are doing, I guess I'm in control of this situation, and I've got to keep track of other things that I do with these humans, like when we're out in the world, on walks and in, distraction-rich environments. So again, creating this awareness, showing your dog how to stay in their place or wait patiently for you to instruct them when they get their basic needs met, or when they go out to go to the bathroom, or when they get playtime and exercise and things. It all is what makes a dog respect you, sees you as the boss. I mean, a good boss, you want to be around, and I work for myself now, but when I was younger and I had a job, I wanted a boss that was fair, that was someone that would motivate me to want to do my best. was respectful in how they acted around me, but also I knew I had to do my job or I wouldn't have a job soon enough and I wouldn't get paid. So it was an integral relationship, but we knew who the boss was, not because I was in fear of being fired all the time, just because it was the hierarchy of the situation that I was put in. And again, I wasn't feeling lesser than, I just knew I didn't have the experience and understanding to run the company that this person did that I worked for. So I'd let them take over and tell me when things happen. As micromanagers, where to sit, what to do, right? You go to school, you go to your desk, you have a schedule. That's what I say place training is over and over to clients. It's your house is school, each room is a classroom. The assigned seat is your dog bed or place cot for training. And the assignment is a command, going to your assigned seat and laying there for the period until the teacher says, maybe class is over and we're going to go have some recess, or maybe we're going to get up and walk to the next class and do the assignment in the next room, right? So especially for dogs that are getting too stimulated by movement and all of that going on. So again, all of these things that we do are what make you the pack leader. It's simulating how when we would take dogs back and we used them for more utilitarian purposes, we would just give them jobs, and they would like that because of very basic existence. It wasn't a lot of things going on in a contained environment like living in a home with people, doing routines, chores, and activities. And a lot of dogs now, because they're still wired the way they always have been, can get overstimulated, whether it be a breed, their personality. Some dogs just get driven by the environment around them being very chaotic, or the other dogs they live with, or some dogs didn't have the best circumstances, so they had to become hypervigilant for needs of survival and getting their, what they had to do to survive accomplished. All of this, again, but what we have to do is be in the here and now. Now, when I see a puppy, and a lot of this is related to puppies, establishing respect, is doing this ASAP, especially if you have a dog that can feel more independent-minded. You have to prove to them, because you're going to get a lot of resistance sometimes. Even with a new puppy, they're going to resist the crate because it's controlled. They're going to resist the leash because it's in control. They're not going to want to stay put because they want to, move around the house independently and not wait for you to tell them when the schedule is through place training and walking exercises and setting a schedule, throughout the day. All these things really, are, number one, again, I keep, circling back, why your dog will learn to respect you. But for lack of it, it's why your dog can not. And it's not like they're consciously saying, I'm going to get the best of this person. It's just the interactions show them a pathway in their associations that independence and forward thinking and becoming overstimulated, agenda-minded, following, tracking, reacting to, paying more attention than humans, and humans are paying attention to them. Why? Because we're busy paying the bills, doing what we do in our lives. Again, all of this leads to a dog not knowing that we're in charge. So the antidote is a lot of preemptive strategies, both in your daily routines, your interactions in general, not letting a dog on the furniture, making sure you do things first, them not running up to you, you coming into their space for any of their needs, even to pet them, So these little transactions, it's just, I always call it like a scorecard, and the dogs are keeping tab. That's why even some dogs listen differently to other people, either through interactions or just an implication, right? Well, this person doesn't let me run up to them and follow them or bite on their hands and make excuses for behaviors that should be corrected or prevented from happening. And this person does, or this person's energy is a little more lenient, or this person's energy, their vibrations, if you will, or their kinetic energy, it's just they feel more stimulating to me, more exciting. And that could be quote unquote the fun person, but it's also the person the dog has the most anxiety in the presence of. So we have to be careful for that, because a lot of times, I talk about this endlessly, right? If you go back to some of the prior 99 podcasts, is our emotions, our feelings, our words sometimes are driven by something other than what the business at hand calls for. Me included, I'm not beyond this. I do this stuff with my dogs all day long, but I was disciplined enough when I had to train them where I was consistent and set the record straight. That's all you want to do. And then there's maintenance. Your dogs still have to have reminders and integrate commands into certain situations. Like I still always will structure a walk unless I'm giving my dog some free time or we're in an open space where they can have more room to roam. I'll do place training. I do it with my dogs when I do my Zoom sessions because I'm demonstrating with them so they get that. And I find the more I do it, still the more satisfaction they have. I just don't have to sell them on the fact that I am in charge, because I did it very consistently early in my relationship with all three of them. So I really hope that makes sense. I just, I just was observing video from a client who sent me, and we had worked together before, but it was clear that they weren't being consistent, and I saw a dog resisting a lot of their training that the dog at this point should be very, not just compliant, but content with. And it's just a clear demonstration that what they're expecting from training is a contrast to how they either interact with the dog, or they don't always expect the dog to chill out, stay put, feel the control of a leash, a place, a crate type of exercise, because they're following and hinging on every move the owner makes, and that's where you get all of your other issues from. But again, I told you I get a lot of the fodder for these podcasts from my real world training situations. If you are a client who may pick up that I'm talking about your situation, it is only for the sake of trying to help. I only hope that you can gain insight from hearing me talk more neutrally about the situation. Of course, I'd never actually give names or anything that would reveal who it is, but I do feel that myself and others can learn from all of these experiences that I've been through with clients over the years, and that's what makes me, I feel, effective at working with future clients. I get good work done even on Zoom when I do these sessions, and so I think it's just being in the real world, seeing the dynamics, the subtleties, the patterns that we as humans, understanding my own, being self-aware of myself around my dogs and what I do related to what all humans do around dogs. That isn't always going to fit the requirements of the training at hand. So again, I just wanted to just articulate some of these. Some of these, podcasts will be more, technical, if you will. I try to paint a picture with words of certain exercises, or what you have to do to address certain issues or teach your dog certain skills. And other ones are more philosophical, which understanding the philosophy and then integrating that understanding into your training to know why and when to do it. I think that's a real nice holistic kind of thing that would be helpful for, and this is what I go through with my clients, is give them a good deep understanding, and then we do the hands-on work to actually back it up. Okay, so I think we're good here. It's been episode 100. Thank you, everyone. Anyone new? Again, don't forget to rate, review, share, subscribe. If you're in Los Angeles area, please contact me if you're in need of training services. Also, still doing lots of virtual training. Really works great. So if you're interested, if you're just anywhere where I'm not local to you, please reach out. You can go on my website, dogtrainingla.com. My email is dogtrainingla@gmail.com. And thanks again for listening. Train and love your dog.